Pelicans fall to the Indiana Pacers 124-114. Presented to you by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Let's do it.
First took away. Gas to this. Get your money's worth out.
I'm now supposed to do the read. Presented to you by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk, located at 19 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident. The Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Just me and Ross tonight. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Always appreciate the super chats. This is an interesting one right here. Before we get into the show, make sure you smash that like button. Ross, let's start with the news that happened this morning. Pelicans leave New York, but don't really leave New York. They had to deplane at 2 a.m. because their engine failed. They had to board back at 4 a.m. They get in the hotel room like 6:30 a.m. They then got to play a game at 7 p.m. So they probably missed shoot around. Their schedule's probably all fucked up. Like, look, I'm not here to make excuses, and we're going to talk about the game. But Ross, I do want to start off with this: is that these road back-to-backs, it's just I'm not a fan of it. I understand this is like the second or third time the Pelicans have had plane troubles in the last couple of years. Like, I feel like this has happened multiple times this year. I just think it's just so unnecessary for the NBA. Fucking Matt. It's so unnecessary for these back-to-back road games because things like this happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough on the road, right? Like, and I mean, you and I talked about it earlier. If it's tough if you play the Knicks and you get on an airplane and everything goes normally and you get into Indy at 12:30 or whatever it would be, right? Like, you still don't get a great night's. I mean, it's tough going on the road and playing a back-to-back, period. So, like, I'm with you there. This is almost a scenario where it's like, I mean, it's why. Look, I think you had no shoot around, and I think it's exactly why you had the bad first quarter, right?
Oh, no doubt. There's no doubt.
The game. That's the difference in the game. And so, like, you know, I'm with you. I'm not here to make excuses because I think there was a lot of basketball stuff we can talk about.
Yeah, we are.
But it's hard to ignore the fact that, like, yeah, you gave up 42 points or whatever it was in the first quarter, kind of got your teeth kicked in, and that was the difference in the game. But it's,
I mean, you even heard Rick Carlisle. You even heard Rick Carlisle on the ESPN podcast. The fourth quarter is like, yeah, we have fresh legs. Like, we need to keep going. It's like, it just puts yourself at a disadvantage. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like, look, everybody has to deal with it. This was just an unusually hard, more like difficult one, right? Like, you had plane trouble, and you know, look, man, I'm in my mid-30s. Like, if I don't get a good night's sleep, and I just got like a regular ass job. Right, like, I don't even have to go run around. Like, I struggle through a normal day. You know, if I don't get a proper like 6, 7, 8 hours or something, you know, like, this is one of those situations where, I mean, we're kind of joking about it, but it's reasonable. You know, it's a shitty situation. It is what it is. I thought they battled. I really did. I thought after the first quarter, you know, I didn't think we played like a great game, but they certainly showed some guts. Like, Like, they played hard. They got themselves back in the game, cut it to, I think, a one-score game there in the fourth quarter, and, like, we lost, right? I think we got sloppy there at the end. A couple bad turnovers is what it is. Tough loss on the road. Not sure we would have won the game, like, if we weren't on the back-to-back. But nonetheless, it's a shitty situation, and, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and Mondo, this actually makes a lot of sense. Instead, like, just keep them in the same, state. Like, that makes a lot of sense. So, look, guys, I see a lot of your comments. I'm gonna star a bunch. We're gonna get to a few topics. I see a lot of CJ stuff. I see a lot of Trey stuff. So I'm gonna make sure. Of course, we're always gonna get to the super chats. We always appreciate that,
Brandon. Look, man, I totally agree. I felt like at one point, Siakam was just like actually running a layup line, like just a backdoor cut layup line. And like, that's I'm like,
slot cut.
This is such a great comment, and I couldn't agree more. The unfortunate thing is you might hear it a shitload more on Friday, so don't watch that game.
Yeah, because now they got to turn around and play him again on Friday. So let's talk about CJ McCollum comes back tonight. Shout out to CJ for playing injured. He's probably not 100%, but his shot selection tonight was atrocious. I mean, it was awful. And I think this guy's been fantastic the entire year. But as always, we're gonna keep it real. Like, I thought CJ was bad tonight. I thought Ross, I thought he reverted back to this mid-range shit and forcing and dribble. And clearly, man, like Brandon had it going, especially in the fourth quarter. No one could stop him on Pacers. I mean, I don't have the box score in front of me. I'm about to pull it up, but if he finished tonight 13 of 13 from the free throw line, like he had it going, man. Like I thought that he did a good job of hunting mismatches. He was really attacking the rim. He was getting to the rim. I know he went 0 of 3 from deep, but he had it really going. And I thought here in the fourth quarter, you look at it, it's a 6-point game, 4-point game. They get down to 3, and then it just turned into the CJ dribble show. And it literally gave me PTSD of last year when he tried to do way too much, especially against the Thunder in the playing game. And this is what we've been talking about in the crunch time minutes. There's no hierarchy. Like, look, man, like we're in crunch time minutes. The ball's either in number 14's hands or number 1's hands. That's it. I don't care. But some nights it's CJ and some nights it's Brandon and some nights Zion's in the corner. This is the problem here. And when you don't have a hierarchy like this, you run into these problems. Especially, look, I did not expect to be in this game tonight. I really didn't.
I didn't either.
But we had a chance to win. You had a chance to steal one on the road on a back-to-back when you had no sleep, and it was basically a scheduled loss. And then CJ at the end of the game just try to go hero ball when you didn't need to. You just had to go through 14 or 1, and you were going to get what you wanted. And then it just didn't happen. And that's what's so frustrating about this loss.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree with the CJ stuff. What's crazy is I felt like he actually shot the ball pretty well from 3. And so
from 3. He was great from 3. He was great.
It was odd not to see him take more of a back seat and sort of lean into that, right? Like, hey, let me play off of Brandon and Zion tonight. Especially once he knocked down some threes, it was like, I thought there was an opportunity. I thought he struggled late. But look, and I want to ask you this question. I know we've talked about this like way too much, but it continues to manifest itself here in the fourth quarter of games where we have an opportunity to win. So I feel like we have to talk about it. I thought the 3-minute Zion break or 2.5 minutes or wherever he came out, the 5.5 minute mark and came back in at 3 minutes or whatever. Like, why do we keep doing that in these situations? Like this is a game. You just said everything: scheduled loss, tough back-to-back, all that stuff. Like, but fuck it, dude. There's 5 minutes left at this point. Like,
you just had a timeout. You just took a timeout. Like a timeout happened, and these are national TV timeouts. But it's like 2.5, 3 minutes, and you take Zion out. You can't just put him back in.
I just don't understand it. It's infuriating, and I think it leads to some of this shit where there's a lack of continuity late in the fourth quarters, because in a lot, I mean, tonight maybe it would have been more of a Brandon situation because he had it going and he was playing really well. But just generally speaking, if those guys are playing the last 6.5, 7 minutes together on the court, I think these things will work itself out a little more instead of, wait, no, there's 3 minutes now. Okay, Zion's going to come back in. Let's see if we can kind of. It's not that easy. Like there's a flow to the game. There's continuity. And we fucked that up by taking out a core piece of it at the 5 minute mark every game. It makes no sense.
Okay, this is where people are getting wrong because Christian, you're right, but it's not Willie's rotation. This is what's driving me off of the wall. It's Collins's scheduled rotations that like Zion has to come out at the 6 minute mark every time. And every time we seem to have a problem getting him back in the game, especially when you had a chance to go win the game. They just take Zion. I don't even know what what the score was when he went out, but I knew when he went out, I was like, I don't like that. I didn't like that move. A couple other moves I didn't like. The Naji Marshall minutes.
You know what?
You want to start on that one? Or?
No,
Okay.
let me have that one. Because we talk about the schedule, the rotation schedule, and how, I mean, I know we've been through this part too, and it's ridiculous. There are nights where sure Naji's like needs to play, right? Whether it's energy, whether it's toughness, whatever it is, right? There are some nights where if Naji's not playing well early, there's no reason to continue playing him. None.
And you could tell he didn't have it going. You could
have
tell.
it going. I don't even. Did he take a shot? He had a turnover in the fourth quarter that was just brutal. A back-breaking turnover in the fourth quarter where he over-dribbled, threw it to the other team. Just a back-breaking turnover in a situation where he shouldn't even be on the court. He shouldn't even be on the court. This was a night, especially considering the travel situation against that team on their home floor. You're going to have to score. You're going to have to outscore them. I thought this was going to be more of this was a situation to play more Matt Ryan and more Jordan Hawkins.
And that's crazy. It's crazy coming for you saying that. Like, you're saying Matt Ryan now. Naji Marshall had 0 field goal attempts, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. So he was a 1-to-1 on a ratio of assists to turnover.
And every turnover is not created equal. A couple of those were bad. That fourth quarter one was really hurt. Like, I think at that point that might have been when we got into a 1-score game, maybe, or 2-score game. I'd have to go back and rewatch it at this point. But I mean, why is Naji Marshall in any kind of isolation situation with 4 minutes left in the game, 3 minutes left in the game? I mean, he just shouldn't be out there. I thought he had a bad game tonight. I thought with the way Hawk had played, I thought Hawk gave you really good minutes tonight. I thought he actually played very well. He was active. It seemed like in terms of tipping a few rebounds, it just felt like he was very active, made some shots. And then Matt Ryan's been shooting the ball well. Like, this was a game you were going to have to score. And instead we had a guy out there for 20 whatever minutes that didn't take a shot.
Didn't take a shot and had 4 turnovers. And Lito pointed this out in the comment section. Zion and Brandon only combined for 2 turnovers tonight.
Much better. The whole team. Look, I thought Naji, even CJ didn't play that. I didn't think he played that great, but he didn't turn it over. How many turnovers did we have outside of Naji's 4 total?
We had a total of 3, 4, 5, 6.
Which is
so Naji had 40% of our turnovers.
Right. I thought after last night's game.
But this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is what I'm talking. It's adjusting to game flow, right? Like, you have Matt Ryan right there. And look, here's the thing. If you want to talk about defense, don't miss with the fucking defense. Nobody played defense on the Pelicans tonight. I mean, literally back cut. At one point, literally Tyrese Halliburton threw it off the fucking glass, and Obi Toppin came. It was a dunk contest at one point. Literally, it was a dunk contest. So I don't want to hear your bullshit about defense. Matt Ryan, though, all I know is that he will compete on defense. He will try to rotate correctly. And then also, he can shoot the shit out of the ball. And just like to your point, Ross, you got to score. When Naji don't have it going, you got to make a switch, man. You got to make a switch.
There's nothing more infuriating than when we just stick with Naji or Jose or I mean, there were some situations where Dyson kind of had games like this too. It just doesn't make sense. Those
28 minutes is insane. 28 minutes, and this is on a back-to-back, and you have no sleep. So this is even more reason to play Matt.
No shots and 4 turnovers for Naji Marshall, who's what, your 9th man?
Yeah, I didn't like that. Let's see people talking about Trey Murphy. What do you Trey? There were a couple shot selections I didn't like tonight. Kind of a mixed bag. There was one in transition that actually Hawk followed up on. It was like early in the shot clock, like 21 seconds left. Like, might have been late 3rd, early 4th, and he just pulled from like 26 feet. Didn't love that shot selection, but once again, it was a mixed bag for me. 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 8 from deep. I mean, he wasn't great, but Jesus Christ, it's 7 assists. So he still filled up the box score a little bit, but what did you see from him?
Didn't think he was great. Thought he took some more of those bad shots. I know for sure he had one that basically acted as a live ball turnover. In fact, I think it was a long rebound that they immediately
the pull up from the left wing, and then he actually hit a 3 on the following possession.
The next possession, yeah. A 3 off of a Zion, gets doubled, or Trey's man is leaking over. He kicks it to him. Trey's feet are almost on the line, and he shoots it. Catch and shoot. Not 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Like, he's got to eliminate that shot from the profile, man. You're just not. I mean, he shot the ball okay last game. He just has to eliminate that shot from the bag right now. It's not helping him, especially the one. I mean, that one he took in a fast break situation, or with 18 seconds on the shot clock. It's like, it's the same thing we always say about the Brandon Ingram turnaround, like contested turnaround. We can get that shot anytime. There's 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Hoist that fucker up, man. Go ahead. otherwise, I just thought Trey was okay. It didn't do much for me tonight.
I do want to talk about this. This is a good comment, Shane, and other people have commented about this. So I was really confused. Look, I understand it's a fast-paced game. This is not really a Jonas game, but 7 minutes. I mean, he played 7 minutes tonight. Like sometimes though, like when you get back in the game, right? I think there was like the Larry Nance thing. They might have cut up to like 6 or 5. Like I think, like as Chris kind of likes to say, you can go to your run game now and play JV, play inside out, and kind of go with that. But I was actually shocked, Ross, that like they DMP'd him the entire second half. Obviously, it's matchup dependent, but I mean, shit. I mean, he just got run off the court. Like, what did you agree with that? Did you not think that he? I mean, I'm interested in your thoughts on that. I wish Lito was on this. I know he's in the comments, but I wish kind of Lito was here.
Yeah, I'm curious if there was something else there because, for him just to not play seems a bit odd. I mean, there's been other bad matchups for him where he plays more than 7 minutes, right? Like, there's plenty of other teams that try to go fast pace against us, and we leave him out there because of what he can do on the offensive end. I do think it's a really bad matchup for him.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think it's so bad that he plays 7 minutes, right? Because like it's not like Larry gave you anything else. I don't know. I don't have a good opinion on that other than I'm just very curious after last night's game, the flight, if JV was the one who kind of, maybe not waved the white flag, but if he was the one that was kind of got the game off after a few minutes.
But then why would you put him so wait?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny you say it's not a JV game, right? So if you go look at the box score right now, you go under team stats under ESPN.com. The Pacers got 14 offensive rebounds tonight to the Pelicans. 14. They got 14 second chance opportunities. They won by 9. So like to say it's not a JV game, like, well, I don't know if you can't rebound the basketball because here's the thing. They got stops. They just couldn't rebound the ball. And that's a problem.
I think some of that has as much to do with how poorly the rest of the team rebounds. Would JV have helped? Yes.
Yeah.
But they shoot, I don't know what they shoot, 43s tonight. I mean, I feel like they get up 30.
They got 38 tonight.
So right. And I felt like they didn't shoot it that well. A lot of those were, there were some long rebounds, things like that.
But if it's a fast-paced game and you got JV and you can kind of slow it down to like keep it controlled, and that's where I don't know. I mean, this is my problem with JV. If like you're not going to play him, then why the hell is he on the team? Like once again, like I don't know. I thought it was frustrating. I want to talk about Brandon. I thought Brandon was awesome tonight. I know he went 8 of 20, but what I love, Ross, and like what I've seen over these past couple games, I love that he's hunting mismatches. I mean, there's a moment there. I don't know, it was the second or third quarter. He just like fucking. I want Ben Matherin on me. I'm just gonna go to work, and just absolutely torched him. He got to the line 13 times tonight. Goes to the free throw line. Goes 13 of 13. Over these last 2 games, since he's kind of come back from the flu, I like the way he's been directing. He's been kind of more of a leader, more vocal. And getting guys in the right spots tonight. I like that. I know he went 0 of 3 from deep, but like that's never the thing with me with Brandon. Like as long as I would like to see 4 or 5. He took a couple. He took a couple of contested threes, which I didn't mind. But I really like his aggressiveness to the rim, man. I like that he's hunting mismatches because when he gets a smaller guard on him, it's almost over. Like it's not much really you can do with him.
Yeah, look, I thought he played seemed to have a pep in his step tonight, which is odd considering the circumstances. I thought he played real well, and you're right. I mean, look, I think he hunted matchups. I also think these 2 games have like played to his strengths from a personnel perspective. Like Indy doesn't really have a matchup for him, right? Like Siakam isn't really. I mean, he's not going to guard. It's a funny guy. I would too, David. Siakam's not a matchup for him. They're kind of small at the guard spot. Nembhard's a good defender, but he's not nearly tall enough to kind of contest or be a deterrent to Brandon. Same with Ben Matherin. And so it was kind of the same thing last night. Like DiVincenzo's a smaller guard. Josh Hart isn't tall enough to kind of affect some of the things Brandon wants to do. I don't think he shot. Okay, yeah, I mean, he made 1 3, but I thought overall he played really well. He got to the spots he wanted to get to, and it was more downhill. Like, I
That's
don't know
the
if
thing
you
I was
saw
gonna say
that.
with
It was less of the like getting to that 10, 12-foot mark and then stopping his progression, stopping his drive, and it turning into a contested jumper. I felt like it was more of a concerted effort to get all the way downhill. And that's part of the reason you saw so many free throws. And I think it's part of the reason that, you know, he was a little more efficient tonight than he's been in some previous games. So,
to me though, I want to address this about Corey, because you're right. This, like, I understand 1 of 5 in the last 2 games, nothing great, but I need the more consistent. Like, I just want to see him get up 3-point attempts. Like, he's going to make.
I think since he came back, Justin, he's averaging 5 or 6. Tonight he was 1 of 5. I think last night he was
1 of 5 tonight.
6. Yeah, he was 1 of 5 tonight. I thought he took 6 last night too.
Oh shit, he was 1 of 5. I'm sorry, I messed up the set. He was 1 of 5. See, so Corey, it's an interesting comment. So
3 of 7 last night.
Okay, so 7 the night before, 5. Like, you've been wanting to see consistent. Like, I think it's more important to see the consistent 3-point attempts than makes right now. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you can get those up, I think he's going to make 2 or 3, and that right there opens up the court even more for the Pelicans.
And then 2 of 6 against the Bulls. So since he's come back, he's averaged 6 a night. Whatever the math is on that. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see him just take 5 or 6 a night. Like, let's just get there first, and then I think it becomes easier to hunt certain shots. I mean, even Zion took a couple tonight. In fact, I thought the 3 Zion took on the left wing was the most comfortable, best looking shot I've seen him take in 5 years.
You talking about the Zion 3?
The one he made.
Yeah, that's our next topic. A lot of people have been talking about that. So, shout out Lito. But Zion shot 2 threes tonight. Goes 1 of 2 from deep. Once again, that shot is readily available, and I keep saying this all the time. Zion's form is good. Like, he doesn't miss bad. Like, it's either short or long usually. I think was the first one, if I'm crazy, was it in and out? Did he go in and out pause?
I don't actually remember the first one.
The second one was smooth.
I thought he only took 1. I'm saying that he took. I'm just now seeing he took 2. So I guess I missed the first one.
So do you think that 2's like the perfect number for him?
Even 1, like 1 or 2. Like, it just. Look, I'm not. And I mean, we've done this before. I'm not one of the guys that's sitting here saying I need Zion taking a bunch of threes. I just don't. I don't think it's smart. I think the other team is going to just give you that. Like, just they're going to give him all of those. He can take. I mean, they're still kind of giving Herb Jones threes. Herb Jones is over a year into shooting the hell out of basketball. Okay, like, they're going to just let Zion take all the threes he wants to take. Having said that, I thought the one he made off of a Jordan Hawkins drive, where it was literally standing on the 3-point line by himself, it was a catch and shoot. Like, catch, take your time, shoot. There was no dribble. It wasn't like one of those awkward situations where your defender is guarding you and he's so far away that he's like daring you to shoot. This was like an in rhythm. He caught it and he shot it. And I really think it was the best form I've seen him have. He seemed comfortable shooting it. If you can get 1 or 2 of those a game, I'm all for that. But there's a difference in that shot where he's not involved and it's really just catch and shoot versus a situation where he's dribbling the basketball. Because I find the same thing with Giannis sometimes. Like, he'll be dribbling the ball and his defender's so far off of him that it's like, all right, well, I mean, fuck it, I guess I'll shoot this. And it's just, there's no rhythm to it. It feels forced. This didn't feel forced. It felt like you just caught it and shot it, which, if you can get more of those, great.
I mean, Herb Jones is ridiculous. Like, he scored 14 again tonight, and it's just with ease. And the one thing I'm going to complain about with Herb Jones, well, I'm going to complain about 2 things. One, he only shot 3 3-pointers tonight, or had 3 3-point attempts. And we've all talked about it. I think it needs to be more now. I think he needs to get up to 5 the way he's shooting. He's also shooting 87% from the free throw line on the year. But Ross, I have to mention this because I watch Herb Jones every night. He's one of my favorite players to watch. What's disgusting about it is the whistle he gets on defense. He's an all-NBA defender. And man, oh man, We watch Herb and Zion every fucking night. And the way that defenders can guard Zion, if Herb were to do that, he'd be fouled out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The way Herb is officiated on defense is as criminal as the way Zion is officiated on offense. I mean, so many fucking just ticky-tack fouls. So many other players get away with so much stuff. Like you're thinking of, like, if I'm thinking of like defensive player of the years, like the Marcus Smarts, the Bam Adebayos, like all those guys.
What I think
like there's a lot of contact, right? There's like, I mean, we talk about Dylan Brooks. Like Dylan Brooks has found this little loophole in like slapping hands after a shot and all this stuff. Like I think it's absolutely ridiculous the way Herb Jones is officiated on the defensive side of the basketball. Do you see that as well? Because I mean, 100%. They're calling him for like hand checks and bumps. Like he's straight up, and offensive players go right into him, and he gets a foul call every single time. Like eventually, sooner or later, he's gonna have to start getting picked. You see, he's gonna have to start picking up technical fouls.
Yeah, I mean, I hate complaining about the refs. I really do, but I think Herb gets just a brutal whistle, especially when we've watched so much NBA over the last 10 years, and you see how Draymond Green is allowed to defend, how Marcus Smart in those Celtics years was allowed to defend. Those guys get away with fucking murder. I mean, there's contact from the time they're guys in possession, until the time that their guy releases the ball. Anytime they're cutting, they're grabbing jerseys, they're physical, all that stuff. I mean, Herb wouldn't make it to halftime.
No. And half the time he can't play because he gets 2 quick fouls. I mean, how many times has Herb Jones picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter?
God, a lot.
It's got to be.
There was a lot early in the year where we were complaining about it. It was like, hey, Herb, I mean, he's got to find a way to play without fouling. Like he's got to find a way to stay in the games, all this stuff. Yeah, he gets just a dog shit whistle. It's ridiculous. And again, it's not, it's not like a center or something where you're contesting shots and some of those is like, yeah, nah, you fouled him. Like these are soft shit,
it's ticky
man.
Tack.
Like
it's ticky tack. It's ticky tack. It is.
This team gets just like no respect. None.
So how do you get respect? How do you do that? Because Willie Green is.
We know the answer to that question.
Dude, that was a crazy stat. I did not realize that. So last night, the Knicks posted that Willie Green in 730-something games played in the NBA never picked up a technical foul. And now it makes a lot of sense. And this isn't a shot at Willie Green. It just shows me it's like, oh, he doesn't know how to pick up a technical foul.
No, it's a shot at Willie Green.
Okay. There's an art to picking up a technical foul. Like you look at Pop, man. Like I remember like back in the Spurs days, Pop would get teed up like 2 minutes into the game. Like he saw like he'll call that quick timeout or he'll get teed up real quick. Like there's an art to pause working of the officials in a game. And I think Willie Green is not I haven't seen progression in that.
It's almost like he thinks it's going to change.
Right. But once again, there was some
and it's like, dude, it's not going to change. Like they're not
there
just going to start
tonight. Right. There was some time tonight where Zion, man, I thought he was getting hacked there in the first half. I thought I was like, hey, it's a really good opportunity here. Lose your shit. But I thought that was an interesting stat. I do want to talk about Jordan Hawkins. So look, guys, so we'll go about like 15, 20 more minutes. So drop in any of your questions, comments. I'll star them. We'll talk about Jordan Hawkins, and I want to hear what y'all have to say. But yeah, Ross, so I was actually surprised. I loved the idea, but Hawkins it seems like Hawkins is back in the rotation. Do you think when Jose comes back, is Hawkins let me ask you this. Is Hawkins simply only in the rotation because Jose's out?
It's
sad.
Probably so. I think so.
So you're telling me when Jose comes back tomorrow or Friday, Hawkins is done?
Maybe not on Friday, just because I think with how small Indiana plays and how fast paced it is, I think it like lends itself to where you almost have to play Hawk. But I think it's just a normal like game where the other team isn't playing 3 guards pretty much all the time.
Look at this.
Getting up and down the court.
Look at this.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I mean, I think, yeah, I think he's out of, I think he's not in the rotation like once Jose's back. Unless the game like absolutely calls for it.
Because the game called for Matt Ryan tonight and he didn't play. Like, what else can Matt Ryan possibly do? What more would he have to do to get into the rotation? It's insane to me that he didn't play. And I know we're sticking on Jordan Hawkins.
There's nothing he can do. The only way he gets in the rotation is if when Naji leaves.
So yeah, I mean, I thought Jordan was great tonight. I thought he
I thought he played well too.
hit what he goes 1-3 from deep, but had a nice little finger roll, 2 assists. Like
1-3
that's all I
was
need
down.
from this.
Yeah, I mean that one. He had 1-3.
The one transition.
Yeah, the second quarter, I think we were kind of getting back into the game. I think it was the second quarter. It was in and out. That would have been a nice stud drop.
Yeah, Shane, you want to talk about this sequence? Yeah, I mean, when you don't play defense, you get wide open. Look, the Pacers. I will say this. The Pacers are not fun to guard whatsoever. Like they are a fucking problem to guard. On the other end, you should be able to score at will. But when you're in transition and you're on 3 hours of sleep, like I guarantee you tonight it was just a really bad matchup for tonight's I think
they're a bad matchup for us in general.
Yeah, I mean they play with pace. They go up and down. Like we just have guys. I mean they slot cut very well. I mean how many times did TJ McConnell just drive? He'd probe in the lane and then find the corner. I mean the left corner tonight was a hot spot tonight. I thought defensively they were bad. But look, the Pacers do this every night, Shane. So like, this is who they are. This is what they do. This is why I like them. This is what Rick Carlisle. That's why I love Rick Carlisle. This dude adjusts to how the game's being played today. He is. I remember him in Dallas.
Personnel.
Yes, very well. You're very right about that, Ross. Thank you for saying that. He's a really good coach, underrated coach. But man, I was actually pretty impressed watching the Pacers tonight. They really push the tempo. I love watching Tyrese, man. I mean, what an incredible talent. It actually makes me sick to watch him because you lost on a coin toss on him. But watching him, I mean, he had a no-look pass tonight. I was like, holy shit. And also, I think TJ McConnell, man, like that dude's a fucking pest. That dude is a pest. And then you get Siakam. Obi Toppin's playing very well for them. I mean, look, the Pacers are just a tough matchup, but you're 100% right, Shane. Like it was Swiss cheese defense tonight. I mean, I don't know what more else to say about that, Ross.
Yeah, nothing. Siakam. I mean, I said this earlier in the game. Siakam is a bad matchup for us.
Yeah,
their style of play, I think, is kind of a bad matchup for us. We'll see how Friday goes if we're a little fresher and maybe if we're able to kind of get out and get a lead, that kind of changes things. Maybe we can slow it down a little bit. But I just don't like this matchup for us from a style of play perspective. And I think Siakam is such a bad matchup, like such a bad matchup for us.
Yeah. Don, appreciate the super chat. Can't believe I'm saying this, but without the Herb/Dyson lineup, our best defense is rebound with JV. That is a really good point.
I agree.
Really good point. This is why I disagreed with JV actually playing 7 minutes tonight. I understand it from a coaching perspective. I get why he didn't play, but I still think he probably deserved more than 7 minutes tonight, especially with you getting doubled up on offensive rebounds.
I just think in games like this, even to kind of I sort of disagree with. Well, I agree with Donald in general, but I'm saying specific for this matchup against Indy, I don't think trying to play some defensive lineup is the way to go. I think you're better off sticking Herb on Halliburton and then putting just straight offensive players out there and living with the consequences of that, including JV. I mean, I really do. I think you're better off just trying to outscore them.
I agree with you, Ross. I'm going to say this now. I thought the Pelicans did an incredible job on Halliburton tonight. They did a really nice job of limiting Tyrese. Look, I know Tyrese still put up 13 assists, 17 points, but goes 3 of 8 from deep, 7-15 from the field. Not very effective there. But I thought they did a nice job on Tyrese. I really thought once it got the Pelicans just never got they just never went away. And I thought there were moments there where they could have put JV back in the game, slow the pace down a little bit, play inside out, punish them inside, get to the free throw line, get a couple stops. And I felt like this was the game tonight, Ross. I felt like if you actually got the lead, you weren't giving it up. They just could never get over the hump.
Yeah. It's tough. You got yourself in such a big hole, man. It's tough when you're constantly trying to dig out of it. That said, the tough first quarter was the difference in the game.
Yeah, that first quarter, man, that was brutal. So Corey, no, not even close. I see it.
I've done
this is why I wanted to say. This is why I wanted to say that TJ McConnell is he is a stud. Like that dude can play.
I've actually used this analogy before that Jose
this is it, Shade. This is it, Shade.
Exactly. This is the problem, is that Willie thinks Jose is TJ McConnell. In reality, Jose is like the freshman team version of TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell, yeah, he can hoop.
TJ McConnell is so much better than Jose. I really can't
Yeah. All right, off that one. Hey, we got about 200 people in here. Make sure to smash the like button. Just hit the fucking like button, okay? I hate begging y'all to hit the like button. It helps out the damn channel. We do this every night. I appreciate y'all. Just hit the damn like button. That's all. Smash the like button. Let me get some more of your comments. Like Justin when this should be a good one. I felt like Justin when he sees Matt warming up the baseline when I saw Zion on the floor with both Trey and Hawk 10 seconds later. So, okay. I'm glad you brought this up, Game Osborne, because there was a moment tonight where Zion, Hawk, and Trey share the floor. Those were the moments when Trey had that bad shot. I liked the idea. I'm glad they tried it out. They were atrocious defensively, but I'm glad that they're trotting this lineup out because I do think in right situations, these three together with a Herb Jones and maybe even a JV, I really like those three together. I really, really do. I understand the defensive liability shit. I get it. But I'm just saying those three together need to be on the floor as much as possible.
Yeah. And Justin, people don't want to hear this, but like, we're not winning an NBA title this year. And Naji Marshall is likely going to be on a different team next year. So, and Jonas Valanciunas isn't under contract for next year, right? So it gets really easy to envision a scenario where you have a rim running defensive-minded center or a true floor like spacing center of some sort with Zion, with multiple shooters. And so you're starting to play like I want to see more of it because I need those players to start to learn how to play each other. Well, you can fix the defensive part. Like you really can. But we need to see what they can do on offense. We need to see if they can run people out of the gym. We need to see that. Like we got to start working on that today. I don't give a shit about Naji Marshall ever playing 28 minutes in a basketball game for the Pelicans ever again. That serves no purpose. You're not winning a title this year. He's probably not on your roster next year. Jordan Hawkins is going to be on your roster next year. Trey Murphy is going to be on your roster next year. Like Zion Williamson is going to be on your roster next year. That's what you need to lean into, even if it cost you a little bit today. Although I don't think it cost you anything.
I'm still not over this, because I see a lot of people making comments. I really thought CJ reverted back to really bad habits tonight. Why do you? Because Ross, we've been so complimentary to CJ, and there have been some awful takes on CJ on Twitter. But I think he's been one of the most important players for this team this year. Why tonight? Like I saw some just like awful contested floaters. I saw dribble behind the back between the legs, fucking step back contested three.
Yeah.
Why? Why did that all of a sudden just rear its ugly head again?
I don't know. Look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I felt like two of those were in situations where he got the ball with 6-7 seconds left on the shot clock, and it turned into a dribble fast mid-range.
Look. I usually give the grace here. No.
But
he was.
I don't know. I don't know
shit out of it.
I don't know if it was that he had just made a couple of threes and he's maybe feeling himself. I don't know. I don't know if he thought I really don't know. I'm not sure if it was just one of those things where it was the first game back after missing a few games and he said, I don't know.
Because this is a really good comment by Dallas Star, because I've been pretty critical of the way Zion rolls to the rim. Tonight, I actually saw progress in the way Zion was rolling hard to the rim, and CJ missed him multiple times tonight.
But it's difficult, Justin. Like I'm with you, and I agree, and I saw the same thing. But when a guy never really rolls like that.
Oh, Ross, are you kidding me? It's difficult.
It's not organic, I guess what I'm saying. It's not because somebody does something one time, right?
Ross, if me and you got on a basketball court right now, we haven't played much basketball together. We got a PNR. You don't think you'd give me the basketball if I'm fucking open on a roll?
No, I would, but it's different. Like that's what I'm saying. You're talking. You can't extrapolate it in that way, right? Like I'm not saying he shouldn't have given him the ball. I'm saying that the windows in an NBA game are the same as the windows in an NFL game. It's a split second. And so if you're not used to that guy rolling that hard to the basket, and that split second is gone, well, the pass isn't there anymore. And so I agree with you. And I thought CJ played bad in that regard. At the same time, this goes back to the whole thing of like, you need to see more of those three players on the court in crunch time so that we can start to like figure that type of thing out.
I love this. I've seen some new comments tonight, so we appreciate it. Shane, appreciate your comments. SJ, I mean, maybe you've been in here before. I really haven't noticed. We had a lot of comments, but I actually like this comment. I want to go back to this talking point. Those ISO BI CJ is part of the reason why the Pels are 0-15, one trailing in the fourth. I want to get back to this point because I don't think we talked about this enough. I want to talk about the hierarchy of the team because some nights you'll see Brandon go, and some nights you'll see Zion go, and some nights like tonight you'll see CJ go. And this is I want to get back to this talking point, Ross, because we're going into either the play-in or playoff. Okay, and if you don't have this figured out in the next 20-something games, you are going to fail in the playoffs. I can guarantee you that. You got to have one guy. I don't care who it is. It can be Brandon, it can be Zion. I really don't care. I say Zion. Some people say Brandon. Some people say other people say Zion. I don't care. But it's either one of those. It can't be CJ some nights and then Brandon one night and then Zion. You don't build chemistry like that. One guy's got to be your guy. So I'm thinking if I'm in Willie's shoes, Ross, maybe I'm wrong, Brandon is his guy. But I don't see it consistent enough. I would disagree. I would rather have Zion be the guy, which is fine. But it can't be multiple people, multiple nights, because this causes, to your point, mass confusion.
But this is why I keep going back to this whole the lineup thing. They've got to alter the fourth quarter minutes to where the last 6 minutes, they're all out there together. Last 5.5 minutes. You can't have a hierarchy when one of the guys isn't in there for what amounts to a big chunk of the crunch time minute. Like, what do you consider crunch time? Like, what is your definition?
I know the definition is 5, but if it's like 6, I say sorry at 6, and they're one possession games because those are you probably got 8 to 10 possessions left in a crunch time game. Talking,
but how many minutes? When do you consider crunch time?
The 6-minute mark.
That's what I'm saying, right? So
Zion goes out at the fucking 5.5 minute mark.
At the 6 minute mark, right? So like that's my problem is what I consider to be crunch time, and I don't. Yeah, you say there's some definition of it. I don't give a fuck what the official definition of it. I'm going like as somebody that's played sports and basketball most of my life, my definition of it is that 5 to 6 minute mark, and we'll call it a 6 point or less game, right? A couple possessions. Well, the problem is the guy that we're advocating to be the hub of what happens in those minutes doesn't play for half of them. So yeah, that leads to a lack of continuity. That leads to Brandon doing his thing and CJ doing his thing. And then, oh fuck, man, there's 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And the ball finally rolled out of bounds and Zion comes back in. Well, this just isn't how sports work. And I wish it was, but like, it's just too many moving pieces at the most important part of the game. It is. I don't like, I'm never going to agree with this because I think it's a dumb strategy. I think it's incredibly dumb.
So I see some, I want to get to your comments here. So Jonathan, this is fine. If Brandon's the guy, if Brandon's your guy, that's fine. Then I need Zion and Brandon involved in the same action. I just need a simple high PNR. Like that's all I need. Like Denver runs, like Boston, like all these successful teams run, then those two need to be in the same action. I don't need Zion in the fucking corner. I don't need elbow to be called. I need Brandon. If this is going to be it, I need Brandon at the top of the key with Zion spreading up, set a high ball screen, and Brandon's going downhill, either pulling up for 3, attacking, or dumping it off to Zion, and Zion's going downhill with shooters in the corners. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Totally fine. They've done it a couple of times. They've been successful, and for some odd reason, they go back to elbow, where Brandon's like running off of a Iverson screen. He's going away from the goal. Zion's parked in the corner. And then you got CJ setting a back screen or whatever off for Herb Jones and so on and so forth. It's very easy to play boxes and elbows. That's fine. I completely understand your comment. Back to this. He literally can't be Zion because he's so one-dimensional. See, but back to why can't you just invert and have Brandon Ingram set a screen and have him pop off or just get a simple mismatch?
We spent a lot of time talking about this last night, Justin. I wish you had been on because I think I posed the question to 5, and we, Chris and 5 and Lito all had, I thought, really good opinions on it. But the question was, everybody keeps talking about the Zion Brandon, they have to be in the same action together and this, that, and the other. And my problem, and it sounds like some of the problem with the people in the comments, is those guys don't play a very good 2-man game. And it's tough, right? Because it's tough because Zion's not going to shoot and Brandon's not really a great 3-point shooter. And it's not your traditional, right? Like the example we used last night was Denver. Denver can run a Jokic Murray ball screen for an entire quarter. Isolation, high ball screen, that's it. And we're literally playing 2-on-2 basketball with everybody else all the fucking way out of the way. And they'll do it for an entire quarter. Like that is their crunch time. Like this is it, right? KCP in one corner, Michael Porter Jr. kind of on the other wing, and Aaron Gordon running the baseline. Like that, they literally will run it for an entire quarter. And you've seen other teams that have similar type skill sets do it. I don't know that Zion and Brandon can do that. I don't think they can do that for an entire quarter or for like a 4 or 5 minute chunk of basketball. It feels like it has to be a 3-man game. And for me, that's where it's important to have that discussion of like, those guys unquestionably have to be in the action, but it feels like there has to be a third player or like something a little more complex than just, hey, but yeah, Zion, go set a ball screen for Brandon, like, and roll. That to me, I don't know how successful that's going to be. I mean, I get that we've seen little bits and pieces of it work, but like, what would your response to that be? Do you think for extended periods of time they can run a true 2-man game, whether it be a wing pick and roll or just a true high pick and roll, high ball screen, the guy coming up? Or do you think it has to be a 3-man action with someone else involved that you can go to time and time again in crunch time?
Yeah, y'all had a great, actually, here we go. Y'all had a great segment on this. I truly enjoyed it last night. I'm trying to get this video uploaded. I'm about to send it to Lala right now. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The 3-man action that you're talking about is what I would do would be a Spain PNR. Someone, they might have ran it tonight, but basically have Zion sprint up, set a hard ball screen, have Brandon come off, and then CJ sets the back screen. So you have the Zion for a lob. If they bite, then you have CJ popping out, and then you have Brandon going downhill with Herb probably in one corner and Trey in the other. That would be my 3-man action. I simply think that you could just do a 2-man action, and I'm going to try to get this video up of just because look, defenders guard Brandon high, especially in crunch time. They're up. So if you just simply set a high ball screen where you sprint and Zion, like Zion's sprinting to screen, Brandon's coming downhill and rolling. You got a guy. I would probably put Trey in one corner, Herb in the other corner. I put Trey in the left corner, CJ in the right corner, and have Herb in the dunker spot, going from right to left dunker spot, because Herb's crafty enough. And Brandon then has the ball in his hands. He's going downhill. He's reading his defender. If that guy's backing up, that's center. He's usually pulling up from 16 feet, and I'll take that shot in crunch time. If not, the center comes up, you dump it off to Zion. Zion's going downhill. You have Herb Jones in dunker spots, and you have shooters in corners. That to me would be the most simple set. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I don't see that enough. And maybe you have strong feelings on this and thoughts, but like that to me, I see this run with opponents' 2 best players night in and night out. Like I can guarantee you, like Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler do it all the time. I definitely know Jokic and Murray do it all the time.
Skill sets. I think that's the problem. Like I'm not disagreeing that other teams do it all the time, but I think they have more complementary skill sets than Brandon and Zion have. Like I just feel like you're right. We don't see it enough, and so there's probably not enough data to say one way or the other whether it can work like over and over again. The flip of that is, it feels a little easy to guard, or it feels like the
why would you say it's easy to guard with Brandon coming downhill?
Here's why. Because I think what's going to happen is it's going to turn, because of the way they guard Brandon in those situations, it's going to turn into a lot of mid-range jumpers, which we all hate.
But not in a crunch time situation. Yeah, I hate in the flow of the game, but if it's Brandon versus center and I have Zion rolling, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
You don't hate it when he makes
Give me a team. Give me a team.
What do you mean?
Who are we playing right now? Are we playing the Pacers? Like I would like to give an example of like what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like let's just I don't know. No, let's do a Western Conference team. Okay, who would we play? We're the 6. Who's the 3 right now? Who would we
The
play in the
Nuggets.
first round series?
The Denver
All right,
Nuggets. That would be unfair.
this
Don't give
is
me
a
the
perfect.
Nuggets. Don't give me the
No,
Nuggets.
but this is the whole point. This is the exact
Okay.
scenario for why
You got
it's not
Jokic.
good,
Okay.
right? Because
Jokic would be guarding
Gordon
Zion. Jokic would be guarding Zion.
in this
Jokic
situation.
would be guarding Zion. Yeah.
Okay.
Or is he guarding Herb?
Like if Zion, you're
Is he
saying
guarding
Zion's
Herb?
the 5.
Yeah.
Because we haven't
Closing
seen
lineup.
we haven't done this in crunch time. So that's what I'm saying. You're already into a lineup that like we don't run. You see my problem? You're working in a theoretical space, and I'm working in reality. We haven't played Zion at the 5 at all, and I think Zion at the 5 against the Nuggets would get just fucking massacred. But
On
here nor
defense,
there.
yeah. On defense,
nor-
yeah. Offensively, I'd like to involve Jokic in a high
and that's
PNR.
fine. That's fine. But okay, go ahead.
I would sprint to screen. Jokic is now guarding Brandon. Zion screens and rolls and has who? Gordon on his backside. Pause. Is that right? Okay. So you have Brandon Ingram going downhill against Nikola Jokic. You don't like that matchup?
I mean, I feel like it's going to turn into.
Do you like the matchup? Yes or no? Okay. You still don't like that matchup? You don't think that Brandon Ingram coming downhill could be Jokic off the dribble? Then we've done our job. Then that's it. We've done the job. That it's over. You got your advantage. That's all I'm asking. And here's the video. This is against Minnesota Timberwolves.
There you go.
Zion screen. Okay, I'm gonna play it again.
Run it again.
I'm gonna play it again because this is Jose Alvarado. Like, go look at Jose Alvarado in the right corner. I'm gonna play it again. Coming downhill. I wish I could pause it, but I'm gonna play it again. Okay, we got it here. Herb setting the screen. Jose Alvarado is standing literally no one within 15 feet of him. You want to see
Play
one more
time?
time? Okay. Got the switch. Naz Reid. Steven Anderson.
Okay, it works that time, and I can already tell you, like, I don't.
So you're saying it wouldn't work on Cat and Gobert?
Well, first off, yeah, neither Cat or Gobert is in the game, which that's okay. Number one. Okay, so you're not really dealing with a crunch time situation there. And 2, if that works one time, there's absolutely no way on earth that Minnesota's coach isn't screaming at the top of his lungs for Jaden McDaniels to take 3 steps back. Like, he's not like, yes, it may work once. And this is my whole point about, can this work over and over and over and over again? Because, okay, what happens in that scenario where Jaden McDaniels is playing at the 3-point line? Because Brandon Ingram is not taking 2 dribbles up and shooting that.
But what I'm saying is that Brandon Ingram is coming downhill with momentum against a flat-footed defender. I like that matchup. I think Brandon Ingram gets to the rim. I really, really do. Once again, watch who's guarding here. Okay, Nas is backpedaling. It's over. And by the way, Herb Jones is doing something very unselfish, but if Herb Jones literally just doesn't set the screen and just actually dives, it's a layup for Herb Jones. So watch Anderson come in. So you see if Herb just literally comes in right there, it's a layup. I'm just saying this gives you, that action right there gives you multiple options. And in a crunch time situation, that's all you can say. But why haven't you seen enough of that? Because you don't ever see, to Lito's point.
Then why do you, I mean, poorly coached. I don't understand what, like, it's not. I mean, I think Five said it last night. Like, the fact that we haven't seen more of our 2 best players doing that is crazy. Like, it's crazy.
It's also another thing from Jarvis. Appreciate your comment. Like, also, how many times have you seen people blitz Brandon? Like, if teams blitz Brandon, I think it's best case scenario for the Pelicans. You're playing 4-on-3, especially with Zion going downhill. It's all about creating advantages in crunch time. There isn't no perfect set. It's what works. All I know is that I see other teams run PNRs. I know for a fact that Zion, Williamson, and Brandon can run a PNR.
I think they probably can. I think where we get out of line or misaligned is the fact that Larry or JV is going to be out there until they prove otherwise. One of those guys is going to be on the court.
Larry can be the dunker. And Herb Jones spaced out in the corner. So Trey's out. So you're saying Trey Murphy's off?
I think it congests the living shit out of it.
If Larry's in the dunker?
Yeah, because I don't know how much, like.
You still don't think they would respect Herb enough?
No, I mean, I think they're going to, I mean, like, yeah, I don't think Herb's guy is grabbing his jersey in that situation. And I don't know that Larry's gotten that ball in the dunker spot in more than one occasion over the last few weeks.
He did tonight.
and hot potatoed the shit out of it.
He did tonight.
I don't know if that's like his skill set. That's what I'm saying. It gets awkward, but we can. Hopefully, we see more of this. I don't expect that we will. It's been years, and we've got like 3 cuts of tape. So.
Yeah. We have about 5 more minutes left. Y'all got any questions, comments? Let us go. So, what we're gonna do, guys, is Friday night. The entire panel is just gonna be off. We got shit going on Friday night. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna miss the Pacers game Friday night. We will be live on Sunday night for 7:00, I think. We're gonna get some special guests. We're gonna do fan comments. So make sure y'all put on the schedule 7 p.m. Sunday night. We're gonna go live, bring on a couple guests, and the whole panel will be back. So let's go. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see some comments. Presented by Company Bear, located 4600 for Red Street. What you got, Jonathan? Zion needs to pick up more offensive fouls. Don't want to call it play force, like Willie says. It's an interesting comment. I think a couple people have talked about this, especially you, Ross, about just running through a motherfucker. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're not getting the whistle and your coach isn't going to protect you, I think it's beyond time. Like, he already picks up 2 offensive fouls a game. Like, let's just increase the physicality of those offensive fouls, right? Like, no one should ever like even consider getting into a spot where they might have to take a charge ever. And the next time somebody does, just go through, just put your forearm through his chest, pick the ball up through their chin, and just literally run the motherfucker into the ground. It's okay. Get the flagrant, man. It's fine. It's okay. You're gonna.
You want to pick up a flagrant?
They would probably for what I want them to do, they would probably call it a flagrant.
Yeah.
But people will stop getting in that spot. When you're coming to your left hand across the paint, they're going to stop getting in that spot, and they're going to stop sticking their chest in.
Okay. Last question, Chung. Always appreciate you, Chung. Corey, you're always in here too. Dallas Star, you're always in here too. Kill Cam.
Should just let Chung run the pod on Friday.
I kind of
get Chung a microphone.
We do need to get Chung on the podcast one of these days. We appreciate y'all. Really in the hot street 3 years, 1 to 10 game losing streaks, rotation, etc. No, I don't think he is. So you're probably gonna be top 7 team this year. You probably get 48 something wins. Gail Benson loves Willie, loves Dennis Allen. Boy, I wish we had Lito on for a Dennis Allen rant. Oh my goodness. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I don't even think he's on a lukewarm seat.
I don't either.
I don't think it's lukewarm.
I'm glad he just said that. I really don't. I think it's I think he's very comfortable. I think everybody in that organization is very comfortable. I think, and we did this a couple nights ago, I think there's a lot of people associated with this organization who see everything that's happened this year as just a massive success thus far. Huge success. I don't think Willie's worried about his job 1 iota.
Interesting. Okay. About an hour. Appreciate everyone pulling up. Make sure you smash that like button. So once again, we're not going to be live on Friday night. Sorry about that. Sunday night live show. Once again, appreciate all the comments. Presented by the Company Bear, located 4600 Front Street and Crystal Hot Sauce. Let's make sure we hear from Crystal Hot Sauce. We will see y'all on Sunday night.
I need to clear something up about New Orleans. While our culinary scene might be on fire, our food has never been about heat. It's always been about flavor. And this is how New Orleans does flavor. Are we clear? Crystal. How New Orleans does flavor.
Fucking Chung. See y'all later.